Hello everyone and welcome to this week's QuickTip Adobe Media Encoder scripting tutorial. If you're not familiar with these type of tutorials, these are where I just go over all the properties and methods available for different objects inside of the guide. This is basically to allow you to have a better understanding of the macro perspective of what's possible in Adobe Media Encoder, and in the future we'll have more specific videos on automating a workflow inside of Media Encoder. In this video I'm going to be going over the front end and batch item objects, some of the methods and properties, and these basically allow us to access items in the render queue, things like adding items, accessing properties of the items, loading presets, and much more. Before we get started, I do want to remind you down below, hit subscribe and the bell icon to be notified of new videos coming out twice weekly in the channel, and down in the description you can follow us on GitHub and get this code, try it out for yourself, and submit any pull requests if you find any updates. Be sure to follow us there for updates on code, and down in the description follow us on Instagram for other updates. You can also join the Discord server and get help with scripting, extensions, plugins, expressions, and much more. And also you can become a channel member, link in the description. You can become a member, supporter, premium supporter, VIP, get Discord status, cool perks, and much more. So let's dive straight into it. First we have the front end object, which you can get by saying app.getFrontEnd. This allows us to add items to the render queue essentially. It's very simple, there's no attributes or properties for this guy, and we just have methods. So again, I don't know all of these because a lot of them are undocumented. Some of them might be missing arguments, but this will give you a good idea of what is possible and you can mess around. So first we have add DL to batch, which requires quite a few arguments, and I think this is just a way to add some type of content to Media Encoder. I can't quite think of what DL is other than download, but that doesn't make sense. We also have add comp to batch, which allows us to take a composition, probably from an After Effects project, use a preset, and set its destination of where we want to save it. We can also just add a file to batch, which is to take any file from your computer, choose its format and preset and destination, and render it out of Media Encoder. That's probably one of the most useful ones, as you can quite easily grab any file. You can also add a file sequence to a batch if you have a sequence of files like an image sequence. You can add also an XML file to your batch. Although I don't often use it, you can also add a team projects item to your batch rendering, which if you're really into team projects, you could do some kind of render farm thing, even via a network. You have the ability to stitch files, which should put files together. Stop batch will stop the queue from rendering, so if you ever just want to cancel that, you can hit stop batch. Again, I'm not sure what DL items are. If you have an idea, put it in the comments down below. Now we have the batch item. This is the data returned after you add something to the render queue. So this will sort of give you status updates and some basic options to adjust things after you've added them to the queue. For attributes, just things to read and basically know more about what's going on, we have the batch item .output files. We have encode progress, which will obviously tell you how far along it is. And we also have the output width and height if you want to get that information. Maybe it's being rescaled or shrunk inside of Media Encoder. In the batch item, you'll get, again, as a return whenever you add something to the render queue. So like when we add these, this should return a batch item, or you should be able to loop through all of the items in Media Encoder in order to get a batch item. And for the methods of our batch items, we have get encode progress, get encode time. So these will obviously return information about the current render if it is active. We have get current batch preview. We have get preset list, so we can get basically a list of all of the presets installed, and this will give us a little more information to apply different presets to things. We can get any missing assets if there are any loaded inside of Media Encoder. We can load a preset or load a format. Again, I'm pretty sure some of these are going to require arguments like a path or a name, but a lot of it's not documented well. We can set a work area if you want to adjust how your render is exported. You can set use preview files, and also a very common option, set use maximum render quality, which a lot of people use sometimes when rendering to different upscaled or downscaled resolutions. You have the option to set use frame blending, set include source XMP if you have XMP data maybe from a Final Cut import or something like that. We have set include source cue points, so if you want to adjust your cue points of your source project or video, this is a way to do it. You can set your crop state, set your crop type, and set your crop offsets. Personally, I haven't really used cropping in Media Encoder, but you're welcome to explore these options if you do. The last couple, we have set output frame size. This is probably something that's going to require like a width and a height, obviously, in order to set the new height for our new export. You can also set XMP data. This is probably useful if you have a custom XMP setup or want to apply some pre-made data to your exports. And lastly, we have set queue point data to set your own queue points if you can, and also set your scale type. I'm not sure if this is to actually set the scale of values or if it's to set maybe like if it's locked in aspect ratio, but that's actually all the front end and batch item properties, attributes, and methods. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. Down below, hit subscribe and the bell icon to be notified of new videos coming out twice weekly on the channel. And down in the description, you can check out this code on GitHub. If you find any useful adjustments, improvements, or updates to any of this, be sure to send us a message or a pull request and we'll update it appropriately. But you can follow us there for coding updates on GitHub. Down in the description, you can follow us on Instagram as well for other updates. You can also join our Discord server, get help with scripting, extensions, plugins, expressions, and much more. And if you'd like to help support the YouTube channel and get cool perks, you can become a member, supporter, premium supporter, or VIP, link in the description. Thanks again for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.